would you like to buy real estate in Germany? Of course you do, otherwise you wouldn't watch this video, right? But before you can even start thinking about buying a property, there are a handful of really important things you need to get done. If not, your dream of buying a property here in Germany will always remain a dream. Let me repeat that, because it is very, very important. If you don't do the things on this real estate preparation checklist correctly, your real estate dreams will shatter sooner or later right in front of you. The 5 to-dos on this real estate preparation checklist we're going to discuss today are all deal breakers. So save yourself some trouble and invest the next 10 minutes preparing yourself as professionally as you can to maximize the changes that your real estate purchase will work out A-OK.
Perfinex, Personal Finance for Expats.
What's up everyone? Welcome to the newest video of our Real Estate in Germany series that will help you towards your first successful property purchase here in Germany. In the first 8 videos of this series, we discussed the fundamentals. So you should be able to tell now if you would like to buy a property here in Germany or not. So this video is for everybody who knows they want to buy a property and need to prepare themselves now. The real estate preparation checklist includes 5 points and we structured them chronologically. So start with the first point and progress through the list as much as you can. Questions? No? Then let's go. You ready? My mind and my body are ready. First things first. Watch the real estate videos we publish on our channel, so you know what you're getting yourself into before you even start the whole process of trying to buy a property here. I talk to plenty of people in consultation that have, and I'm afraid there's no other way of saying this, absolutely ridiculous expectations when it comes to real estate in Germany. And those are the people who spend a lot of time searching months and months for this perfect property that doesn't even exist. And while they're doing that, real estate prices are increasing, and before you know it, you're priced out of the market. Because property valuations rise faster than your savings that you have sleeping on a 0% bank account. I know it's tough to see the truth behind all the fraudsters on the internet that publish fake numbers or exaggerated returns that simply don't exist. I understand. And that is the reason we're publishing these videos for free here on YouTube. For you, so you're not getting scammed. Certainly not doing these videos for me. So please, please, please watch at least a couple of the videos of this Real Estate in Germany series to get some sense of reality. Now that you have some realistic expectations about real estate, it's time to clean up your life, especially your financial life. Otherwise, you might find your dream property, but you cannot buy it because your life is not in order. And that would be a huge shame. So, what are the most important topics that you should work on? If you watched a couple of our real estate videos before, you might be tired of me saying this, but check your credit score. Schufa score in German. Schufa has incredible power over all our lives, whether you like it or not. And if your Schufa score is you are as well. Because no bank will finance a property for you if they don't even trust you enough to get a credit card. I still remember to this day someone reaching out because he couldn't find a bank to finance the home he wanted to buy so badly for his family. And he couldn't figure out why because nobody told him why. We digged a little into his case and found out that he had a Schufa score of 22, which basically translates to a probability of 22% that he will pay his bills. Super low, insanely low in fact. If you want the best interest rate when financing real estate, try to have at least a Schufa score of 95. So request your Schufa score. And how do you do that? Here's a video perfect explaining how you get your Schufa for free. And if you don't have 90 or 95, here's a video how to increase your Schufa score. And definitely avoid these Schufa mistakes that will ruin your Schufa and therefore all realistic expectations of you buying a property here in Germany in the foreseeable future. Also, try to get at least 2 to 3 years of tax declarations in Germany before you buy a property. That's not a deal breaker, but it certainly helps if you have a couple of German tax returns. And it's good to do a tax declaration either way, even if it's not mandatory in Germany. And with our tax saving videos, you will definitely get some money back from Finanzamt, so you can invest even more in real estate. Isn't that awesome? Finanzamt hates me for telling you these tricks. Next, get your accounts in order. Banks have started to ask for 3 months of bank statements when you apply for financing. So if you want to do some funky transactions in high amounts, do it at least 3 months before you apply for financing so the bank doesn't see it. I will never forget the one guy who tried to finance with us and we didn't understand all his accounts and where his money really was. So the financing bank felt the same way and we set up a Zoom call, all 3 of us. And he couldn't even explain where his savings were at all the different accounts and all the different transactions. If you don't understand your finances, how is the bank supposed to understand this? Needless to say, all banks declined his financing request. And lastly, since some of you might have lost their job during the pandemic, be out of the 6 months probation period when you apply for financing. Or get at least 3 months in with a new company and then get a letter from your employer that they will keep you after your probation period is over. We've done that many times and it always worked. Why is this important anyway? Some banks just don't value income during probation period because your employer can fire you within 2 weeks for no reason. Also wait a couple of months if your spouse is currently on maternity leave. Rather wait a little until you both have income again. This will be very much worth it with the better conditions you will get from banks. And also how much real estate you can afford. But more on that later on this real estate preparation checklist. So far, we talked a lot about financing real estate. Before you can think about financing though, you need to find the property you want to finance. So to-do number 3, determine the type of property and the use of property you would like to buy. I'm pretty sure this is confusing for some of you guys now, because some sellers or real estate agents request this financing confirmation when you visit a property. So how can come property before financing? Well, when you apply for financing, the bank is gonna ask you what you want to finance. Address, square meters, when the property was built, how the property was built. They want to see the purchasing agreement from the seller. If you don't have this information, you cannot even apply for financing. And despite common belief, there is no general financing done by banks. In every finance application, you are reviewed and your property will also be evaluated. So property before financing. Just believe me on this one. Now, what's up with this financing confirmation then some sellers or real estate agents request? To be honest, they are not worth even the paper they're printed on. Every single of these financing confirmations has sentences like these. In case you don't speak German, it basically states that these are non-binding offers that the bank can withdraw at any time if they don't like the property or if they don't like your financial situation. Hate to break it to you, but these financing confirmations are absolutely worthless. Don't worry though. The solution to this property versus financing first catch-22 is the next to-do on this real estate preparation list. Just remember for this to-do, ask yourself what type of property you'd like to buy and how you'd like to use it, as investment, to rent it out, or for self-use. Here's a video to help you with that decision if you have trouble making up your mind. Real estate preparation to-do number 4, determine the maximum price for your budget.
But Axel, if property comes before financing, how is that even possible?
You guys should know me by now. I'm never leaving you hanging with a problem. I'll always present a solution as well. So here's how. There's 3 rules of thumb with 3 different approaches that can give you a rough estimation of how much real estate you can afford. First is the savings approach. Have at least 10% of the property value in cash for the additional purchasing costs. That is 2% for the notary, 3% to 6.5% for ground taxes, plus 3 point some percent for the real estate agent, in case you need it. Real estate agent is the only one that is optional. Second is the liquidity approach of how much you can pay the bank. Generally speaking, banks want 2% in principal repayment, you buying every month more and more of the property. And since you're not getting the bank loan for free, a bank also wants 1% to 2% in interest. Let's take 2% to have a conservative calculation. 2% principal plus 2% interest is 4% repayment every year. So a 100,000 euro loan would be 4,000 euros repayment per year, or 333 euros a month. That approach can give you a maximum of how much you can afford on a monthly basis. And the third is the regulatory approach. A bank is only allowed to give you a loan if you have a realistic chance of paying it back. And this is mostly determined by net household income. That's why the tax declaration from to-do number 2 on this real estate preparation list is so important. 100 times your household net income can be financed with almost any bank. 105 is also possible. But the more and more we go away from 100 times your household net income, the more banks drop out and it's getting tougher and tougher to finance. Hopefully these 3 rules of thumb help you in finding your maximum real estate budget. Before you even have a budget though, you need to build up savings, right? And that's why real estate preparation to-do number 5 is to build equity. I just told you that you need at least a 10% additional purchasing cost in savings, right? Now, there's lots of possibilities on how to build equity for real estate. Some pretty efficient and some not so much. And others, like a German Bausparvertrag, suck big time. Actually, the best way for you to build equity also depends on the time you have until you actually want to buy your property. So you can see this topic is already pretty deep. And that's why the next video of this real estate series will be all about building equity in the best way possible. See you next week everybody, and don't sign a Bausparvertrag until then.